As promised, we had put out a challenge for our supporters to provide anything that they wanted us to give points on. And we had a couple takers. So, what we want to do is make sure that we make it interactive, make it engaging, and let y'all know that although we got thousands of points that we could bring up, sometimes we want to make sure we hitting y'all where y'all want us to be. And so, I'm going to present one of the questions that came across in the comments. And I'm gonna encourage you guys to continue to comment. And who knows, we could randomly either get you on a pod or respond to your questions, real time on an episode. So, with no further ado, question: female and male double standards, relationships, expectations. So, we'll say it like that. And what I interpret that as is, what's your point on female and male double standards within relationships, and what should be the expectations of males versus females within relationships? So, obviously everything is relative. It depends on, what you got going on. But what would your point be on the double standards that exist for men and women as it relates to relationships together?
Now, I would say generally in a relationship, when a man gets married or gets into a relationship, it's time for him to stop the video games and the feet up and chilling with the boys, like stop the relaxation period and start grinding because he has a family or because he has a partner or whatever he has, he's now responsible for it. So he needs to get up, start grinding, and take care of that. On the other side, a female gets into a relationship. She was grinding before. Now it's time for her to kick her feet up and chill because she has someone taking care of her. And that's not fair. That's wrong. So I think both people should be grinding. Both people relaxing is not going to work. I mean, they, the relationship will end or the people will end. So I
Mhm.
think both should grind, but the standard is the woman gets to chill. That's her retirement package.
So you saying when a woman gets with a guy, she's already gearing it down, shutting it down because he's doing the heavy lifting going forward. But my question is, as you know, society, let's say you got a corporate job, let's say you got any kind of job. Society is more receptive to a man getting more money, to a man being more in charge, signing for more things, having, different credit dynamics. And so because the man is going to get most of the praise and most of the respect anyway, let's say we going and signing for a crib, they asking him, how he wanted to be and what he wanted to look like instead of looking at her situation. So because she's fighting an uphill battle anyway, don't you think that would discourage her from grinding harder now that she done connected herself with this dude that's gonna get the run anyway?
I think that's a problem if you worried about likes. You're worried about likes on the internet or likes in person.
Right.
If you're worried about what other people are saying, like the man doesn't clean the house because when somebody comes over, they be like, "Oh, she keeps a clean house." That's a double standard too.
Ugh. So, but I think that based on classic male female dynamics, people feel like certain things are aligned with the woman's accomplishments. For example, the kid's hair is done or combed or cut, their clothes look nice, the house is nice, the front yard, the curb appeal, the cars is nice. Even though they feel like he's paying for all this, they feeling like she's controlling all this. They got a saying in Spanish, and I don't know the translation, so I'm gonna give you the English part of it. And the man is the head, and the woman is the neck. So basically, the man is the head, and he's coming up with all this stuff, but the woman is directing all his movements. They say behind every good man is a good woman, a controlling woman, that type of deal. So because her role now is to be the strategist for the rest of y'all lives, to make sure y'all headed in the right directions, y'all going on the right cruises, y'all connecting with the right other couples. That is a thankless job. That is a job that's not a W-2 job. That's a job that she's doing for y'all to fit into society and look like that couple. And all you got to do is go out there and finance those things. So whose job is harder, hers or yours?
So first of all, I don't think every woman has in their DNA to be a good strategist, to be a good planner, to be a good hair doer, to be a good cleaner, any of that.
Right.
So anybody that I ever talked to, I've highly recommended a premarital course or some type of pre discussion to where they can see what each other's good at, to see if it's a good partnership, to see if it'll work.
Right.
So it's in society, the standard is when a woman gets a man, she gets to dump all of the hard stuff on the man. If her car's not working, it's the man's fault. Now, is that man really a mechanic?
Right.
Should every man go auto mechanic school? Should every
Right.
man be a carpenter? No. So, but the standard is he has to take care of that because of his gender. And then you point to the woman and you say the woman has to do all the housework. Every woman that I know would dispute that. Like, no, it should be both of us.
That's true. That's
But the
true.
man, like, if the man was to say the yard needs to be cut, it should be both of us. People are gonna look down on that dude,
Right.
and it's not fair. And I believe that every woman can operate a lawnmower just as good as a man.
They make them that way. Yep. Yep. Yeah, they kind of make them unisex. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no female lawnmowers out there on the market. I agree with you on
Right,
that.
right.
But I think that the thing about it is this: we as a society have changed, but we allow the women to keep some of the thought processes that went along with that woman when she couldn't work, when she couldn't go to school, and all she had was the housemaking, the home body, the stay at home mom type situation. And then when she started getting out and about and getting some education and being able to get this bag, we didn't graduate those expectations. And so she still is under the influence of you should be superwoman. I should be able to go do this corporate job, tell these people what to do, make millions of dollars, but then come home and iron and pick up dry cleaning and cook a nice meal and do the homework with the kids and all. So when do a woman get a break if she's expected to be all these things to all these folks, to be the mom, the wife, the boss chick, and all of this? How can that even be possible? Because I think that's unfair to have all those hats that you putting on her when your hat is just a hard hat.
The hat is not a hard hat because you have to do the same things. She has to be a mom. You have to be a father. You
Mm.
have to take care of the home. He has to take care of the home. You have to go to work. She has to go to work. But you can't have it both ways. You counting too much. You want the man to pay all of the bills, yet when you get to work, you want equal pay, right? Why
Ooh.
should you get equal pay when you work with guys? Because you can do the work equally, but your money goes towards fun stuff, fashion, entertainment, trips. My money goes toward responsible things,
Right.
bills, emergencies. That's
So
spoiled. That's go
gotcha.
ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the fluffy stuff. But I think that the problem is women marry dudes to replace their daddy. And when they go
Ooh,
to college, they're looking for dudes to replace their daddy. And so women are always coming. I mean, even some women call their husbands daddy. It's just like it's overt in the mug. Like when you calling a man daddy and you have a biological father, that's a issue. And they know test tube baby women walk around out there, so all of them have biological fathers. But this is how the programming comes into effect because look, you want to be equal everywhere else except when you don't want to be equal. Except when the lifeboats is being manned, they want women and children first. Hold up, what happened to all that equal stuff? When the when the responsibilities is coming out, he should be doing this and he should be standing up. He should be protecting me because he's a dude. But you was throwing all this equal stuff when we was talking about pay. We was talking about promotions. when we was talking about, all these other opportunities to get into school and whatever. It was equal, equal, equal. But then you don't want the output to be equal. You just want the opportunities to be equal so you can, you know, get whatever you can get and then play the victim at the end of it. That is tough. But the fact is this, do guys ever get to play the victim? Do guys ever get to say it's too hard on me? I need a mental health day and all that kind of stuff.
No, guys don't get to be weak. They don't get to be son. And since you brought that up, a guy calling a woman mom sounds sick. But if you want to know how sick it is for a guy to call a man daddy, just picture having sex with your dude, calling him daddy, and you say, yes, take it, daughter. Because that's
Oh
what the
wow.
relationship is, daddy daughter, right?
Oh
So
shit.
that's how sick it is. It's a partnership, not a daddy daughter type of relationship. So you
Right,
should
right,
not
right.
have to baby a woman. Spoil a woman, yes. A woman spoil her man, yes. But to take advantage or to be treated less than, I don't agree with. And that's the double standard. Some women, definitely not all, want to be adults when they turn 18, go to college and take care of stuff. But when they get married, they want to go back to being a daughter again.
So what
For the
should the standard be? Because so I don't know if you up on this, but I was told recently because I didn't care, but I try to keep my ears to the street. People mad because Gabrielle Union said her and Dwayne Wade split everything 50-50. But when you do it too much counting, you saying, wait, he got way more than she do financially. So why should she have to put in on anything? What's your take on that?
I think they have to define what 50-50 is
Hmm.
to them because
Hmm.
it could be 50-50 effort, but if it's 50-50 financially and they both agree to it, I think it's beautiful.
Because they
It's
both could afford it, right?
every
They both
relationship is
obviously,
different. It doesn't
right?
matter. So if you know that this dude makes more than you and
Hmm.
you agree to do 50-50,
Hmm.
I think it's beautiful. If 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 me and somebody I'm dating make the same amount of money and we agree to do 50-50, that's fine. And then I get a bonus or I get a raise and I start making double of what she makes. I think it's fine to go back and negotiate the terms where she can have as much money for entertainment as I have, or whatever. We could split the bills differently. Or if I make so much, I pay all of the bills and she put her effort somewhere else. I think the key is that everybody needs to put in 100% effort, no matter how big the glass is. And I think you taught us this before. If you have a 20-ounce glass, that's what you need to fill. If I have a 40 ounce, I need to fill it. I don't
Hmm.
need to give you 20 just because you giving me 20. That means I'm half assing and you putting in all of your effort.
Sure. But let's do it like this, though. Let's do it like this. And this is where it becomes a problem for me. Me and you both make me and my lady both make $50,000. Okay. And so we doing the bills, we doing all of the stuff 50-50. Therefore, fair exchange, no robber. But with part of my 50 is going part of my energy. So we just talk about financial. Financially, 50% of my finances going to this stuff, 50% of her finances going to this stuff. But now let's do the budget. And the budget has a kicker to where $1,000 goes towards whatever I want. $1,000 goes to whatever she wants. She's investing in shoes and handbags and this and that. I'm investing in classes. You did? With mine. I'm good with my shoe game. I'm good with my whatever, my accessories. So I put that into my classes. Now all of a sudden, I make 100,000 because of that investment that came in. She's still making 50. The conventional wisdom says I should, because remember we was both paying 25-25, right? The 50-50 was 50% of my stuff was going to us, 50% of her stuff was going to us. That's 50,000. I'm walking away
Right.
with 25. She walking away. Like we settled with that 25 of our own. 50% was going into the pot. Well, now that I make $50,000 more, the math says I can handle that whole 50. Now she keeping her whole 50, but I'm keeping half of my 50. You dig? And
Right.
that's
Yeah.
the mindset of getting with a baller ass dude. You like, well, he makes so much more than me. He shouldn't even care. But you keeping 100% of your stuff, and I'm getting 50% of mine taken off the top. How can you
Right.
think that's fair ever? How can you ever think the math is good in that? Remember, we started off, we was both giving 25. We was feeling good because we was getting it, but I was investing in me. Or I did something that allowed for me to upgrade and we didn't do a recalibration of 50 because you worried that if we do that, I'm coming out 25,000 ahead of you, or I'm coming out 50,000 ahead of you. Why are you worried about that part of it? Because we taking care of everything that needs to be taken care of. You worried about the extra, but you're not willing to do what you need to do to get up there with me. You should be motivated by that 100 and be like, damn, me and you about the same intelligence. We about the same age. I can go get something like that too in my area. But instead, you come up off the gas and say, well, shit, now that he can handle my side of it, I can just marinate in my whole 50. And that be the problem with this double standard thing because you have created a standard to where if he could take care of everything, why doesn't he? And shame on him for not. They mad at Dwayne Wade because Dwayne Wade theoretically could come out of his pocket for all of that and she could have all of her money to herself. What is she gaining by having all of her money to herself?
She's not fully in it to me.
Ain't got no skin in it, right? She ain't anteed
Yeah.
up at all.
No, she
But
has her own money and her
yeah,
own responsibilities and her
right,
own fun, pretty much.
right, right.
I want to go through some of them if we can.
Yeah, give it to me.
So, how come a woman without a job is a homemaker and a man without a job is a bum?
I think the tough part about that is this. We ran up on a YouTube video that was dedicated to stay-at-home girlfriends. And I had never heard this term, but I guess it's really popular now. If you look it up on YouTube, I swear to God, you're gonna find at least 10 different channels of chicks that call themselves stay-at-home girlfriends. Not stay, and then you got the stay-at-home wives. Now, here's the deal. I do think that there's a representative portion of the population where you have stay-at-home dads and stay-at-home moms. What I don't like is there's no such the chance of you seeing a stay-at-home husband is
Hmm.
very, very minimal because we don't find that to be of value amongst other men. Women, on the other hand, find it to be of great value. They feel like they shit is the golden shit if a dude is willing to let them do nothing and just sleep with them. So it's an exchange program for sure. Because I have no chance to believe if all he do is go to work, you putting it down. You getting it taken care of. And
Right.
so because you whoring yourself out for this man that you married to, you feel like you should have a badge on because you don't have to work. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. But guess what? You putting so much effort into the physical, into the beauty, into the cooking, into the whatever, the servitude. But these be the same women that don't want to say that they submissive. How could you not be submissive when everything you own is what I've bought? You can't take a good attitude to Macy's. You can't take a productive spirit to Kroger. I have to put into these things from a financial perspective for you to be able to swipe that card, make these things happen. And yes, you do alleviate some of the stress that I have to go through on this grind. But at the same point in time, you got to understand that's a lot of pressure, especially as you get older. It's a lot of pressure because I'm counting too. Remember, I make my money so much because I'm great at counting. So I'm
Right.
counting the fact that you saying you don't feel like it right now, or you don't want to go to my mom's for Thanksgiving, or you don't want to. Now I'm looking at you as an employee that's insubordinate. You know what I'm saying? You insubordinate, and that's where the problem becomes. The situation is women do that thinking that that's cute in front of other women. That's cute that I don't have to this or I don't have that. Especially not. I'm not talking about stay-at-home moms. That's a whole nother conversation. But if you just a stay-at-home girlfriend, stay-at-home wife, ain't no such thing as a stay-at-home boyfriend. I don't give a damn if it exists. There's no such thing. There's
It
no
should
such
not
thing.
exist. Right.
Man, shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen because they call them dudes gigolos. No big
Yeah.
deal. They do have names for it. It's just not stay at home boyfriend. It's a gigolo or a sugar, or you got a sugar mama or whatever you want to call it. That type of thing. But
A
I think
pimp.
women are exactly, and I was gonna get to that. But women are inherently conditioned by society that they feel as if they're worth someone doing something they're not willing to do for themselves. People raise their women to go out there and find a guy that they could sleep with to support them financially. That's if your dad is saying you need to get married and have a guy take care of you. He's saying go give a dude enough good stuff to where he's willing to trade that in for coin. That's what your dad is telling you when he say go
Hmm.
get a man to take care of you, because he's not telling you to go and be a good person and derive some great respect and admiration from a man because he sees you grinding. He sees you and he wants to get on that same train and y'all head down the track in the same direction. He's not saying combine your wealth so you guys can have super wealth. He's saying go draft off of whatever this dude already got going on. Go catch, go catch, go catch, go catch. You know what I'm saying? Sharks don't catch sharks. Sharks fight each other. You know what I'm saying? That's how that
Right.
works. Yeah, so this concept of equal, is equality the standard? Is being subservient the standard? I guess when you say a double standard, what standard is the real standard? Because it is easy to say this is a list of standards, this is where we abide by them, and this is where we don't abide by them. But if you just mix in standards, if you go with 1950 standards, 1999 standards, 2020 standards, these are all over the place because dudes, chicks ain't even chicks no more. Dudes ain't even dudes no more. So these standards is all. I have no idea how two gay
So,
dudes have double standards in their relationship. You know
well,
what
let's
I'm
talk
saying?
about dudes not being dudes and women not being women then. So,
Okay, okay.
how come a nice dude is
Hmm.
soft and always up under a woman he's needy,
Hmm.
but a nice woman is something that's desired?
Because I think women are putting the impression of your mom. Everybody, not a lot of people, depending on your culture, don't have a dad present, but everybody have a mom or a mom figure like a grandma or auntie present. So they've had numerous years to get their weight up as far as how somebody that nurtures you should be within your life. And unfortunately, they try to get with women that could nurture them. And the women have told them, I'll exchange this nurturing for these coins. You know what I'm saying? This is the game. I'm sorry if I'm busting people's bubble, but if I take care of the cars and the house and this and that, she's supposed to take care of my comfort. She's supposed to create peace. She's supposed to defend my balance in that regard. And when she's not defending my balance or creating peace or getting beside herself, I have to go outsource that to somebody who will. And then I'm the bad guy because she felt like she had more to give or more to offer than what the numbers were saying. That's how that worked. When I got with her, she was given. Let's do it like this. We're gonna be real down into the point with this. Me and her having sex 3 days a week. She's in shape. I'm making $100,000. Um, she's depreciating because she's aging. She's getting tired. She got medical issues that done came up. She got all this and all that. But guess what? I'm getting promoted and I'm making more money. My evaluation has increased. I'm now making $200,000 a year. She's gotten older. She gotten slower. She gotten less flexible, and she got a fucking attitude. She want to go more places. She want to order out more because she's looking at the fact that let me see this, we have more money now to do these things.
I heard the French.
I'm looking at
Hmm.
her. I'm looking at her like, hold on, I've been grinding to increase our portfolio, and you've been a depreciating asset. Then they get mad when he upgrade or trade in for a younger chick. Now he's got this chick that is flexible, that don't have an attitude, that is submissive, because she got to a situation where she thought they had did it, and she got complacent. And now she feeling a certain kind of way. But now when she back on this market, she got to get over herself to grind again and get a guy that's worthy of where she feels like she is in life. So now she back in the gym, back to getting her hair done, taking off the bonnet in public. She got to remodel herself. When if she had just kept up the maintenance, that car could have ran forever. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
a lot of times that's the situation, bro. It's a situation where they're not looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, "Wait a second, am I at least matching him?" Because he'll give me seniority credit, but what I can't do is just shut it down, retire, and he's still working. It those are the worst kind of relationships. When y'all both retired and y'all traveling, that's beautiful. When you retired and he's still going to work every day and you acting retired, you want to go on vacations, you want to do you want to do nothing if you feel like it. He's gonna be like, wait a second, this ain't working for me because we not on the same page. And a lot of women come in and they feel like whatever they did to attract him and to motivate him, they can just shut that off. They don't have to re-interview for the greatness as it continues to go upward. They feel like that first interview, if you go to your regular job and you do exactly what you did the first week, for the first 3 years, they will fire you. They will fire you if you take no more training, if you have no more growth, if you don't learn the job any more than what you learned in the first week, first month, you will get fired. You will
Right.
absolutely not get a career and you will never get promoted. So the best relationships is when she realizes, wait a second, if I give all that I can here and I invest in myself, they're going to invest in me from a promotion standard. He's going to invest in me from a promotion standard. He's going to be more encouraged to want to go to the Maldives and go to Hawaii and this and that if he sees that I'm getting bonuses or I'm getting opportunities or I'm keeping the main thing with these hot meals. The main thing with drawing this bath water. Making sure that I'm not tripping about socks being on the floor and all this and all that because he's working harder, getting tireder, and I'm got him working at the crib. I got
So is
honeydew
that the
list and all
issue?
this other stuff. Is the issue what?
So is that the issue? Once you're a wife, you can no longer be promoted. You're a CEO. You can't be promoted to nothing else, so why try? Is that the issue?
It, here's the situation. If you look at it as it is your company and it's only going to go as good as you make it go, then yes, because you can't promote a CEO. A CEO is all about bonuses at this point, equity. So if you a boss chick and you the CEO running your family, know this: the worse you are, the worse the company is. The worse you are, the worse the
They
family
forget
is. If
about the
your
stocks and the stock prices.
That's it. So if your kids is acting the ass at school, you're a bad CEO. Yes, it's still you still run it. Congratulations, you own this, but you need to own this. You did when your kids ain't making the grades, when he got this chick pregnant, when he out there smoking, drinking, and chilling. Yeah, that's on you. That's on you. You the CEO. You run this. So yes, it's a lot of pressure on women, but that's what they want. That's what they should want because if you're good at it and you do what you're supposed to do, you'll continue to reap the benefits, just like a job, just like that, just like your husband at his job or your guy at his job. You attracting good things because you doing good things. Everybody want to be part of a success story. Nobody want to be part of excuses. Nobody wants to be part of excuses. If every time we turn around, this happened and that happened, I could have did this or I would have did this or I should have been here or I should have been there. But you know how they be doing people, you know how they be doing black folks, and it's like, damn, I ain't got time for all that. Now we talk about not having time for stuff. You can't have time for somebody that's built a whole house on a foundation of excuses, because that shit gonna crumble. Nor should a woman let a guy give her whole bunch of excuses that she can plainly see are not bearing any fruit. He said he planted all this stuff, and y'all been watering and watering, ain't nothing came up out the ground. He's not a good farmer. You wanted a
Nope.
farmer. You got to let that go. You got to fire him. Fire him and go find you a farmer. And let a couple seasons go through and some crops come up and say, you know what, I got more land. Let's jump on my land. You do that same thing you did on your land on this land, and we going to be eating good. That's the analogy. So the double standard is, first of all, what is the single standard? And then secondly, this concept of men and women relationship dynamics, we touched on that, man, 6 years ago on the pod. But the reality of it is, it's hard to say a woman's supposed to cook, clean, barefoot in the kitchen, birth babies, this and that, and the dude's supposed to bring home the bacon and fend off the intruders and all that. It's gotten a little more complicated than that because women have gained so many more rights and so many more options, where men have gained no more options. Everything a man has been, they've been that for the last 200 years.
Okay,
Women are
so
now in there where they can choose back and forth. And that confusion is the problem because sometimes you do want to be the boss chick, and then sometimes you want to cry and he being too hard on you. These are two separate people. But that shit is called bipolar.
so why is a man called passionate and strong when he speaks his mind and gives his opinion, and a woman is called bitchy or nagging for
Because
giving
I
her
think
opinion?
it's the conviction. It's the women do not compartmentalize emotions very well. If something happened bad, she mad at everybody. If something happened here, everything is going bad. I don't feel like it. I ain't got time. Man, and dudes can kind of say, hey, it's just this person, this situation, this thing. Most dudes. Now, a lot of dudes is tapping into this estrogen and they being ultra sensitive too nowadays because they allowed to get away with it. They allowed to get away with it, so they taking advantage of it. But the reality of it is, you got any relationship. You have to set your own standards and you have to know who you dealing with. If you're dealing with a dude and commercials come on and this dude is crying, that's him. You're not going to raise him out of that. But a lot of women think that the mom didn't do a good job, the grandma didn't do a good job. I'm going to finish raising this dude upright. And you met him when he was 27. The hell? This
But
cake is
but
baked.
he's considered weak, and if a woman is
He,
crying, she's just in touch with her feelings, right?
That's but you have to be willing to say I like some women like a man that expresses a feminine side or some sensitivity or some insecurity. Women say they want to do vulnerable and communicative and open and honest and all these other that classic feminine traits. You know what I'm saying? Dudes don't ever say I want a woman that's over aggressive and that's speaks her mind all the time and loves to take out trash. I've never heard this dude say that in his right mind. You know what I mean? And I
So
do think that
have you ever heard a dude say he didn't want to have sex because he has a headache?
no, I haven't. I will hope that. Let me say this: that should never get back to me. I'm sure it's happened. Guarantee it's
I
happened because
think dudes feel like they will have sex will get rid of the headache.
man, you know what I think dudes feel like? I think people have been programmed to believe, and I've been told this in relationships. If I don't feel like it, I must be getting it from somewhere else. But if I was to say, if I asked my old lady for some sex and she said she didn't feel like she was tired or maybe tomorrow or something like that, and I dared say, oh, you must be getting it from somewhere else, oh, you can kiss the baby. You can
Yeah,
kiss it.
right.
It's going to be fire in the city. So
Yeah.
those type of double standards exist. But the reality is, like we talked about before, it's that communication dynamic. What do you think I should be doing to increase your level of happiness? Because what you'll realize is sometimes it's classic stuff and sometimes it's that new stuff. Sometimes it's that new stuff. I had a chick one time tell me what would be a great benefit to her is if I called and checked on her mom every now and then so her mom could see how nice I was. I was like, what? But when I started doing it, it bought her. It bought the mama and it bought the daughter. Like I was the man because I would call once every 2 weeks, like, hey, just call. No, ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. Just call and see how you doing. What's up? Just making sure you good. You need anything? And she was like, oh, I appreciate that. Because her mom didn't have a dude. She was sharing me with her mama, which was a
So
whole nother
what
story. That
if
was a
her
problem.
mom got a dude at some point? Wouldn't that be awkward?
It should have been.
So she didn't
It
believe
should
in
have
her
been.
mom's ability to get a
Absolutely.
guy
She knew
ever.
her mama. She knew her mama.
Okay,
She
you didn't
know,
either.
and,
Okay,
and
so
and the bad part about it was she knew her mama, but she was overestimating the influence her mama had on her. She felt like if she was just enough not like her mama, it was good enough. But it was a couple of times where some of her mama came up in our relationship as far as the stuff she was doing with us, and I was like, hey, you acting like you don't want nobody like your mama. You acting like cat lady. That's why I used to call her cat lady because I was like, she gonna be old with a whole bunch of cats. And you starting to get a little cat lady in your tone. You get a little cat lady in your tone, and she never even recognized that she was taking advice from somebody who was a failure. Your mom is absolutely a failure. My mom is a
Your
failure.
hero. Yeah.
My mom can't give me relationships on marriage or nothing like that because she's never been married. It's okay. Just like my mom can't give me advice on soul food because she has never cooked soul food. These things are all appropriate, but unfortunately, people feel like they respecting their folks, and so they listen to that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Just like if your daddy ain't never been in your life and he come in and the first 3 or 4 conversations he trying to give you game, what the fuck? What is we doing here? I'm not allowing for that. I'm rebuking
Show
all of
me
that.
what you have in the game.
Absolutely,
And you
absolutely.
do have to evaluate your hero before you decide they're a hero. Like you don't just
Thank you.
see Superman in a suit and say, "Oh, he's Superman." No,
That's
show
right.
me that you can fly. Show me
That's
that
right.
you bulletproof. And after
That's
I
right.
see that, then okay, you are Superman.
But then
So
it's a
what
reevaluation
about
based on the growth trajectory, just like any relationship. I reserve the right, and we'll talk about this. We've been talking about teasing this pod forever about renegotiating marriage. You have to constantly renegotiate the standards because here's the deal: when we lived in a 600 square foot apartment and it was one bedroom, one bathroom, where you had to go through our bedroom to get to the bathroom, that's what we could afford, and that was appropriate, and that was the standard because we didn't live off nobody or with nobody. We had ours. And so, as bad as it was ours. But then the standard changed when the money changed. The standard changed when you graduate. The standard changed when she have a kid. You know what I'm saying? The standard changed when you know what I'm saying, you pick up some weight. The standards have to change, but you got to be open about that. Now, here's the situation. You also got to let her know. I understand you done birthed 2 babies, but us having sex once every 2, 3 months, why? I need to understand the science behind that. What happened with your libido? What happened with your let's go to the doctor together to see if we get some female Viagra or something. Like you have to communicate through the standard changes if you want this thing to work. Or you have to get out to make sure your standards are being met so you don't feel like you wasted X number of good years. You hear women say that all the time. He took my good years. No, you gave him them years. No, he didn't rape you for them 4 years. That ain't how that worked. Where you
and if
said
you
no,
didn't grow
no.
yourself during those years, that's on you.
Shameful, shameful. But what happened was you got what like old folks say, big fat and happy. You got big fat and happy because he was living up to the standards that y'all had agreed to, bringing home the money, taking you on vacation, making sure you had Dooney and Burks and coaches and you know what I'm saying, all these other things, red bottoms and whatnot. And so he was living up to his end. But then either his standards changed that he didn't communicate them, or he was communicating them, you was making excuses. You kind of know when somebody's not completely pleased. Anybody that's successful, they tell you what's up. They tell you what time it is. They let you know, hey,
Yeah.
or you see it. You see these efforts. You see these efforts, and wait, look, if all of a sudden I'm on a project and it's a big project and it's going to be something to get me promoted, us a bonus or whatever. You got to lean in and say, whatever he was doing, I'm going to make sure he got all the energy so when he finishes, he sees it as a team win. But if you let me still go pick up food on the way home, I'm working late and picking up food on the way home. You know what I'm saying? Start cooking later. Like you can make some adjustments, man. That's not hard. All of a sudden, I used to get home at like 7, 6 o'clock, and now I'm getting home at 8:30. You can't eat a little later? But I get home at 8:30, pick you up something on the way because I done already ate and I done already cooked and ate. Okay, cool. Then I pick up something, and when I walk in, you just getting out the shower to get in the bed. You can't adjust nothing. You can't match my
Right.
efforts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
30
Because you
minutes,
feel like
something?
my efforts is
Right.
at this man something. You feel like my efforts is at this job, not realizing this is our job. Your job is our job too. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever I can help out, I'm helping out. The issue is when you start thinking you better than me. You deserve more than me. So now the standards is I should be grateful to be with somebody like you. Who the fuck? Who is you? Who is you? Because if I came to you with that same energy, you should be grateful. And you know this like I do because you a dude. It's way more women out there looking for a dude that's willing to keep the standards than it is men looking for women keeping the standards. Because women is man, if it was what my man Dave Chappelle said, if it was a stock, it would be plummeting because they oversaturating the market. There's so many thirsty broads out there. So many thirsty broads. And the bad part about it with dudes is dudes ain't even hung up on looks. They not even hung up on age. They just want a chick that's listens,
Peaceful.
make a sandwich, shut up a lot. Man, shut up a lot. You know what I'm saying? And keep the main thing the main thing. They not even so when you see a dude and he with a chick and you like, how did she get with him? How did she get with him? She giving him peace. When you see a chick and she with a nice dude that's above her physical standards, you assume, you know what I'm saying, the money.
Yeah.
You assume it, he got money. He must be taking care of things. When you see a dude with a white chick, you assume she got good credit. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them things, man. But these standards have to be a situation where you establish what you gonna put up with, what's gonna make you happy, and you defend that vehemently. I demand this, I deserve this, but make sure you have receipts. Because a lot of women judge themselves by their 18-year-old perception of who they thought they were supposed to be. None of the receipts exist. But when I was 18, I was a prom queen. Like my man said, I was a prom queen. And this and that. And now they ain't nothing. They work at the gas station and they still holding on to that prom queen. Got 4 teeth in their mouth. And they got all these stories of what could have been, and that'd be the bad part.
I
So
don't even
this,
think you can
so
take that
I
crown
don't know
home.
what that was that. Right? The scepter. They got the
So,
scepter at the crib.
so have you ever heard a dude complaining about women who won't step up and be a mother figure to their kids?
No.
That's another double standard.
Yes.
Have you heard of a woman saying a dude won't step up and be a father figure to their kids?
Let me tell you this: women have way more audacity, and women have way more unrealistic expectations of who they are. Women feel like they deserve to be happy. They deserve to have a good dude. They deserve. Dudes don't really talk about deserving a lot. Women do. Women, I demand, I deserve, I have standards, I have values. This, that. Dudes don't really talk like that because dudes know it's an input output game. They say, I work for this, I gain this, I earn this. Women say, I deserve this. Not I gained a great man. I earned. You never hear a good woman say, I gained, I worked for, I put it down for a good man. They say, I deserved a good man and God blessed me. You know, it become a magical, it becomes it becomes a magical incarnation. You know what I'm saying? That they was such a good woman. You know, it's like I said, I blame Walt Disney. They was such a good woman that a good man just magically, magnetically showed up. When dudes go hunting, dudes hunt for women. Now women go out there and they be trying to trap a good dude and that kind of stuff, but they don't feel like that it was because of everything they had. They feel like it was because they was able to coerce him into a situation. This deserving thing is probably the worst thing you could do. I'm a girl dad. I don't let them talk about what's fair and unfair, you know what I'm saying, and what they deserve and they don't deserve. What, most of the time what you have is what you've earned. You are what your record says you are. You done been through 6 relationships and you feel like I just deserve somebody that loves me for me. You've been finding people that love you for you. You're not that great. Yeah, this is it's okay. You're not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah. The record says you're not very good at this relationship thing, or you're not good at this scouting thing, or you're not good at something because these failures keep piling up. And the common denominator is you in this situation. So, what do you really deserve? First of all, you got to get this together, create your standards that you willing to stand on, and then show, hey, these are my standards. This is what it's like a resume. This is what I've done for myself. This is what I continue to do for myself. This is what I hope for myself. This is what I dream for myself. Where's your self hope, self dream, self wants? And then when you read his stuff, you say, you know what? I can fuck with that. I can do something with that. Now let's go forth and see if we can live up to who we said we wanted to be. I'm not gonna come off the gas. You don't come off the gas. You mopping, I'm sweeping. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, man, if he gonna sweep, why would I go in there and grab a broom? Because the floor is big enough. The
Right.
floor is big enough. Y'all can sit. Y'all both could watch this show if y'all got done in half the time. But you find some type of benefit that you can kick up, eat hot Cheetos, and watch the show while he in there sweeping. And you on the phone with your girl, or your mom be like, "Girl, yeah, oh no, just sitting in here watching this show. Oh, he in there, he cleaning up and washing dishes, and you smiling because you like, oh yeah, you got you one, you got you a sucker. But he
Yeah.
plotting to get up
So
out of
you
there.
and you have to think about both sides. So
Hmm.
in the Bible, they're
Hmm.
quick to quote, "If a
Hmm.
man findeth a wife, he findeth a good
Hmm.
thing."
Hmm.
It says findeth a wife.
Right.
So if he makes someone who is not a wife, he
That's
findeth
correct.
a terrible thing, right?
That is correct. That's correct. If
If
he
he finds
manufactures a
someone,
wife, right, right,
yeah,
right,
then that's a
right,
terrible thing.
right.
But she's a wife before you even make her or go to the courthouse or sign papers or all that. So if you're just a person who's going to chill and make him do all the work, you're probably not a wife. Even I don't care what your title is, but he finds it a terrible thing.
I don't agree in theoretical relationship dynamics. Meaning, when I get out of jail, I'm gonna be this cat. Like you said, I need to see 4 seasons. I need to evaluate if this is what I want to assign my soul to, because the Bible also says, "Leave and cleave, two become one." Right? And the idea of you leave your family and you cleave to this person, and y'all souls unite and y'all equally yoked, and it becomes a powerful thing. Nothing is more powerful than love. It is not. It's delusional, it's crazy, it's all these different things, but there's a power in it. But if you misappropriate that power, it's dangerous, like nuclear. You know what I'm saying? It's dangerous. Nuclear energy is the best energy when used appropriately. When used inappropriately, it is explosive, highly explosive, and radioactive for years, right? So the concept of, if you get with somebody that's tuning your soul, tuning your emotion in the right direction, it's a blissful, peaceful, it's so beautiful to fall in love that you suspicious of it. You wonder, how did I get like Deborah Cox? How did I get here? Nobody supposed to be here.
Right,
What the
right.
hell's going on out there? But it's a situation whereas it's that beautiful when it's working appropriately. When you force in love and you feel like, man, I'm doing a lot for love, is easy than a mug. Love is the easiest thing because it's so powerful, because it's so natural.
When
So
it's
when you
pure
find to work
and when
on it,
it's
yes,
genuine, yeah.
absolutely. When you find yourself working on it, man, please reevaluate that thing. Look for something that's gonna give you a sign that this is just a bump in the road or something like that. But over time, after that 4th season, and you done seen this ain't for you, it's okay. Something is out there for you if you so do believe in yourself. A lot of times people settle because they really know that they not settling, they choosing appropriately because they know I can't do no better. Or they fool around and have kids and feel like that means something. You don't gotta stay with somebody because you got kids. Well, what the hell? That ain't been going on for 70 years now. You know what I'm saying? That's
Or you
crazy.
trying to snag them up real quick before they realize who you are and what you
It,
about.
I don't trip on that because you still got a choice to come in every day. You get what I'm saying? Just because you got the job, don't mean that you can go to work and start stealing from the job and keep the job. They can't catch you stealing from the job and you be like, hold up, hold up. Y'all offered me this job. So I am bound to keep it forever. But the same situation, you get a job that you applied for, and it was what you wanted, and then they change the job, or they come to your desk and start slapping your ass every day. You don't have to stay there. Well, I gotta stay here because I signed up for it for the sake of the kids. No, you have a responsibility and a right to be happy, and so you have to reevaluate your happiness. You have to reevaluate your happiness. And I do know at least I think four people that was married, got divorced, and got remarried because they realized nobody else want to put up with that shit. Like it wasn't this bad. They
Damn,
thought
that's
their
a lot.
value was higher than it was out in that market. They went to free agency and realized no other team wants me. Both of the mugs did. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of stuff happens too. But the standard is what you and she call the standard. Because the reality of it is this. If I said I don't want to go to work tomorrow, and my old lady said, cool, what do we need to do then? And she's supporting me for whatever reason. She supports that, and we got to sell the house, downsize, whatever, whatever. And every day I come home and she see the smile on my face, and I'm happy because my mental is good and my spiritual is good. That's the standard. Who cares what people think or what people saying? If she come home and say, I don't want to work anymore, and I say, okay, well, you do realize that the math look like this if you're not working. And she say, cool, and I say, cool, that's the standard. The problem is when we trying to play the standard in front of you or somebody else, and you like, hold up. Now, of course, the way the world works, if she say she don't want to work, and I say, cool, let's recalibrate this for your own peace of mind. That's exactly what I was supposed to do. I was supportive of my woman, and she didn't want to work, and it doesn't. Nobody's saying she lazy. Nobody's saying nothing. But if I come home and say I don't want to work, why would she put up with that? why would she? Why would she allow for this dude to come in and disrupt all the things they had built? And they had this and they had that. They ain't doing none of the math to say she wasn't working for the first 7 years. Could care less about that. They talking about where they are now and decisions I've made. You got to be willing to defend your own standard. So I don't think there can be a double standard for men and women if y'all have decided this is my role and this is your role. Everybody can't get rebounds. That's stupid. You got 5 rebounders on the team. Ain't nobody shooting, nobody passing, nobody dribbling. Y'all will lose. Stop trying to be me. I'll stop trying to be you. And we
Right.
figure out what role you have, what role I have, and are we good with that? Are we good with the role that you have and the role that I have?
Okay,
And
I
if we
got
good
another
with
one
it,
for you
that
though.
is the standard. No double standard exists. Go ahead.
So what about this? Very popular saying. Happy
Mhm.
wife, happy life.
I believe in happy spouse, happy house. Absolutely. Dog, this idea that everything is female centric is cool if it wasn't equality being preached by the feminists. It can't be a woman is entitled to this, that, and the third, but a woman also has to be treated equal and consistent. You gotta pick a lane. You can't pick a convenience.
You
And a
can't
lot of
serve
times
two
you
masters,
can't. Bible
right?
say you can't serve 2 masters, right? It's the level of convenience. Because here's the situation. I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be probably the biggest point that I make.
The hood
And
say
we
you
can
can't be a blood and a crip. But go ahead.
right, right. So so the situation is a conversation is an exchange. I am giving you information, you're giving me information. If I'm just talking to you, that is called a lecture. Sex is an exchange. I can't buy dinner and you give me some. If I buy dinner and we have sex, we just gave each other some, I'm still ahead. You're still behind. Stop, women, stop thinking that if you provide sexual favors, unless you're allowing him to lay there and do absolutely nothing in exchange for that happy meal, that steak, that creme brulee, or whatever, I can accept it if that's the case. If you can give me the receipt where he paid for this meal and then he laid there and did absolutely nothing, and I just serviced him, cool. But if we had sex, that was an exchange. Stop making it seem like men like sex more than women. That's a lie. Stop lying to the people. Stop lying to your damn self. Stop lying. That's ridiculous. And no woman's sex is worth a house. Now, that could just be me being jealous because I ain't never had none that good. If anybody's had, put it in the comments, please. If you've had sex that's good enough for your house, your career, your whatever, please, please let me gleam into that. Tell me how it worked and where that can be found because I don't believe it exists. But women tend to believe that because they giving a guy physical favor or they giving a guy a little bit of attention, it's worth all these other things, and it's not. And dudes need to stop letting them believe that. Stop letting them believe that's silly. Come on now, it's an exchange. It's an exchange. We just exchanged something beautiful if it's done right. It was beautiful. Don't mar it by making it seem like you hooked me up. Because if I told people that I hooked this girl up and gave her some, I would seem so barbaric. But when she say I blessed him with a little something, the girls be like, "Oh, girl, you blessed him with man, get the fuck out of here." So that's a bad double standard. If the standard is that, the standard needs to be ratified. But I do believe we create our own standards and we create our own expectations. The problem is when we secretly indict and we don't establish these expectations early and often and openly. You can do it in text message, so there's no misinterpretation. You can do it face to face if you trust that person. But you have to make sure that you're letting them know, hey, now that we make this much money, I expect for us to be in a bigger house. Now that we got this bonus, and I expect us to go on this vacation. Now that we are here, I expect a car that's pushed to start. And then I can explain to you why that's a valid expectation or why you out your rabbit ass mind.
This concludes another episode of the Hollow Points Podcast, where we act as your therapeutic outlet on topics many think about but are afraid to speak on.
Oh, you're welcome.